Hi everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Gates weekly recap, week 46. I'm a little antsy here in the chair. The way that ended was just, hopefully, Anita's okay. She collapsed at the end. Hopefully it was just exhaustion from the treatment she had this week. She's into the chemotherapy now, and Sharon went and did the therapy with her today, and so that was good. Hopefully, the fact she collapsed was just because of stress over the week. But here we go. There was a lot happened this week on the show. Kat continued to be a witch, confronting her dad, basically telling him that his daughter, her half sister, is scum, and that he is to never talk to her about her again. And Ted basically said, well, I'm not choosing between the two of you, so you better just get used to it. And, of course, being the witch, self-absorbed scumbag that she is, she walked out. And, she's a witch. Let's face it, she's a witch. And now I'm sure she'll probably have a problem now that Tomas got partner. She won't care though. She won't. She'll have something else. There'll be some drama in her life that matters more than the biggest thing that's ever happened in Tomas's life. Because she's a witch. She cares about nobody but herself. It's all about Kat. It's all about basic Kat. Kat loves to say, well, I'm anything but basic. Well, no, you are basic. And I've said it before on here. Kat is a basic bitch. All right. So we can move on here from her to Naomi, who is probably one of the nicest characters on the show. Cares about other people, puts other people ahead of herself. She has the Bronca Gene. That can cause triple X breast cancer, like Anita has. And, but she's kept it to herself. She did consult with a doctor this week at the hospital. And she gave her some information about it. But then they got interrupted when Nicole came. She didn't want Nicole to know. She didn't want Nicole to know that she's got the gene. Nicole's her aunt. She didn't want her to know because she knows what one Dupree knows, they all know. And so she kept it from her. With the facts, she's keeping it from Jacob. That's another thing. And these women on this show, I know they want to be strong, but geez, you're keeping it from your husband, or they'd get mad if their husband kept it from them. You know what I mean? So I think she needs to tell Jacob ASAP. Jacob is now going undercover. Elon, he agreed to let Jacob go undercover to investigate the plasma scheme, which Smitty uncovered. The plasma scheme, and he wants to continue to investigate, since he discovered it and turned Jacob onto it. But Jacob doesn't want him. He wants involved. He wants him to stay out of it, simply because Jacob says if anything were to happen to him and he would get injured or killed, the Duprees would never forgive him. And, he is right in that sense, but I think they would, forgive him. But, there's always got to be some sort of conflict. But Kat interrupts them. Kat sees them talking, and she knows that something's going on. She suspects that something is, as I would say to my granddaughter, she suspects that something is ongoing. And so I think that, she'll probably put her nose in there and something will happen because she interfered. That's usually what happens with cats. She screws things up for people. But then she, gets mad when they blame her and acts like she's the victim. I mean, that's her. That's absolutely cat. But we got, we'll move on here. Vanessa is, her and Joey are hot in their romance. But I had this feeling they brought, Kyle and Vanessa had a chance meeting the other day. Chance encounter in that club they go to. I'm not sure what that club is. That place that everybody meets at times. Is that the gym at the country club? Is that right outside? I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. But there's a lot of activity in that place. And so Kyle and Vanessa were there. They talked a few minutes. She gave him a card, tried to sell him a house. But something might happen there. Something might go on there. It'll be interesting to see how long, Joey's on the show, John Lindstrom, however long he's on the show, his body count will build up. And I'm not talking the way the kids talk about body count. I'm talking about body count. How many people will he kill? He's already killed Doug. He's already killed Doug. They killed the racist. So it's going to be interesting to see how many more he kills. I think he's going to kill. I think he's going to kill. He might kill that husband. Let's get into that. Who verbally assaulted Vanessa at Uptown, and was ready to physically assault her. And Randy walked in and stopped it. And then Randy didn't hesitate to call Joey and tell him. And yeah, that was probably that husband he might have made the wrong move there. So he might disappear. I wouldn't be surprised if that husband just disappears. Because he assaulted Joey's woman. And that's not going to go over well. We watched mob movies. We know how it goes. They can treat their women like crap, but nobody else better. So that was interesting. Carlton and Nicole finally, they made love after the date. Ted and Shanice also did, from what Shanice told Vanessa 3 times. And then Bill and Danny kissed, which, she's going to cheat on Jake. She's going to cheat on Andre. That really sucks. She's going to. I hate to say it, but she's going to. And that just bothers me. Andre's been so loyal to her. He really has been. And she's going to be the one, that cheats on Andre. And that really, that pisses me off that Danny, she'd do that to Andre after he's been very loyal to her. And Bill, Bill doesn't care, But what's going to happen first? Is Bill going to get killed first? Who knows? Is Haley going to kill him? Is he really going to leave the show? I hope not, because I like his character. Hated him at first, but I think that, Bill and Danny, this might go on for decades. It could. I mean, look at Brooke and Ridge on Bold and the Beautiful. It's been going on for decades. So who knows? This is no short-term stuff. This could be one of those. As long as the show's on, they could be going back and forth. So we got, you mentioned earlier, Tomas saw, I mentioned earlier that Tomas got promoted to partner. That happened today. And, Bill did it because he thought that Tomas saw him and Danny kissing, which I think he did, but Tomas isn't that kind of a creep. He's not. I don't think Tomas would have held that up on Bill. He may have eventually if he didn't get promoted like he was supposed to. But I also think that it's just I don't know. Tomas worked hard for this, and he feels like he deserves a chance to be partner in the firm. So that's why Tomas is going to think he got it because he worked hard. Then he's going to be a little disappointed when he finds out that he got it because of what he witnessed. Bill didn't think he was good enough. Well, let me tell you this. Tomas wasn't going to say anything because that's not how Tomas works. And Bill is just fixing things like he's in natural fix-it mode. So I don't think it's a big deal. But don't be surprised if it comes out eventually that Tomas saw them. If Kat gets pissed and breaks up with him because he didn't tell her, because you have to tell Dupree business to Dupree's, and so that's what's going to happen there. I think it's kind of an interesting situation, but I think that the preview showed us a lot that could happen next week on the show. There's a lot coming up on the show, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and who ends up with who. And, I just want a little more. I want a murder mystery on the show. I do. I want a murder mystery on the show because murder mysteries are amazing on soap operas. They really are. But I think that's pretty much, there's not a lot to do today. I have bad news is we were supposed to cover a Willoughby South swim meet today, and I really wish we could have, but I really wish we could be there, Charity, but I have a Cavs game to cover, and my reporter injured his leg, and he's not going to be able to be there. I'm very sorry. I really wish we could be there. I thought about it all week, a way we could. I'm really sorry. If you have other meets, hopefully we can get to them. Maybe when you guys get to sectionals and districts. But back to the Beyond the Gates, we're going to I think that's going to be it for today. We really don't have a lot to go. I think next week is going to be a pivotal week on the show. So if we could possibly, I think we're going to see some interesting stuff. Yeah, I know, Charity. I know, my wife. That's awesome. I'm so glad you watch. But we will we'll be back next Friday for the show, and we'll talk more about Beyond the Gates. I got to go cover a Cavs game tonight, Cleveland Cavaliers. So we will hopefully have a good week. Those of you who live in the Midwest and Northeast, stay warm and dry because we're going to have a big winter storm. It's going to be really cold. So everybody take care. And we'll see you next week. And hopefully I'll see you somewhere around Fairmount Crest.